Hi, I'm Wayne Brown, and I'm going to talk to you about my experience in the creative and design industry. I started my career back in 2010, working for like a small boutique agency. I spent those early years working in print design, cutting out name badges, formatting copy, and yes, making tea and coffee for the senior members of the team. After around 3 years working at that agency, I decided to set up my own company. And at this time, it didn't work out, and the reason why was because I lacked the experience in managing projects, clients, and the commercial acumen that's actually needed to run an agency. So after that, I picked myself back up and I found myself in 2013 working for Manning Gottlieb AMD. And this is where I really got to hone my creative skills and my craft, but not just from a design and creative perspective, also from a senior leadership perspective as well. I had the opportunity to work on multi-million-dollar pitches, and this meant that I was working across various teams within the agency, so strategy teams, insight and data, social-led department as well. This enabled me to really branch out into the agency and, like a sponge, absorb all of this information. Most importantly, I learned from the CEOs, MDs and leaders within the agency on what it takes to run a business and also to manage people and clients and projects. So why am I telling you this? Well, it's through this experience that I was able to set up Curative in 2018. And since then, we've been servicing some of the largest agencies and brands in the world. And it's through this experience that I uncovered some repeatable patterns. And this is why I wrote the book, The Creative Gap, where I talk about the 4 key challenges agencies and brands face when it comes to managing design and creative operations. Problems that we face are more important today than they've ever been. And the reason for this is because the way that we communicate and collaborate together is changing. Our biggest challenge today, yep, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. So we all know that artificial intelligence is impacting our industry, and it will do for years and decades to come. The challenge that we face at the moment is the fact that it's impacting the way that we communicate and do the work. I often find myself having coffee catch-ups with CEOs and founders and explaining to them that we're having our Uber moment. So when Uber first hit the streets, it was the taxi drivers that took the hit. I also compare this to when cameras went into phones. It wasn't a big deal at first, but every year they got better and better, and slowly anyone could become a photographer. What we're seeing is a shift in the barrier to entry, which is fantastic because it means that more people have access to better platforms, systems, and tools that enable them to be creative. Let's take Canva as an example. It's provided millions of people across the world with the opportunity to be creative. And that's great for expressing yourself, but it's not always good in business. Most marketing managers now act as designers. They can design up posters and presentations and even social assets. The problem really starts to arise when the quality of those materials doesn't always hit the mark. In my experience, I've seen files that have been sent to a printer from a marketing manager. The design was great, but it lacked some of the fundamentals that a designer would have picked up, like the crop marks and the bleed. And these are the fundamentals that are taught to a designer in design school that a marketing manager probably wouldn't be aware of. Going back to my Uber point earlier, just about anyone can become an Uber driver if you've got a car and a license. This is great, but let's compare this to a London or a New York cab driver that have spent years, probably even decades, learning the roads around the city. They're never going to get lost. And if there's a traffic jam, they'll know a shortcut. Uber drivers don't have the same skill as a cab driver. They rely on the technology. I've been in situations where the journey's taken double the amount of time because they've got lost. And that wouldn't happen with a taxi driver. I'm seeing this in our industry where delays are happening as a result of people doing the work that don't necessarily have the right skills or experience to deliver it, as well as a dedicated practitioner. This isn't about gatekeeping. It's about addressing the systemic challenges that we're facing in our industry at the moment. And that's why I wrote The Creative Gap. Follow along because I'll be sharing more on the challenges and how we can overcome them.